I think that this film portrayed the Waynes in a really interesting way, completely different to what it's to how they have been portrayed before. And I like that Thomas Wayne wasn't altogether squeaky clean, but he was essentially still a good person. How did you feel about the continued revelations about him in particular in the film?
Yeah, like you say, or you said in an earlier video that sort of everyone knows who Batman is, and they could sort of start it after he's been Batman, and we didn't have to go through that obligatory how he becomes Batman with murdered
Yeah.
parents and that type of scene. So I think it was really good how sort of we had sort of finding out these bits of things, what they were like, and how that sort of shaped how he is. And like I said as well earlier, was the how it probably reflects a lot on real life, how sort of
Mm,
politicians and business people sort of meet people and do things, and maybe that they are genuinely sort of pretty good people, but sort of, oh, you associated with that person, you talked to him, or you did this and you did that, and
mm.
I think again it reflects really well on sort of real life, maybe a little bit too much for comfort, but yeah, I the whole thing with his family, it's was again very believable, very grounded reality, and I think that's what added to the movie.
Yeah, I like the background that they gave Thomas Wayne in particular, because it just, I think, adds more weight to the fact that he and Martha are no longer here. They were
Mm.
such prominent figures in society who were trying to do a lot of good, but for poor old Riddler, they were shot, and so that just
Mm.
screwed up his life.
It's all
Poor
their
Riddler.
fault.
Poor Riddler. Oh, that monologue where he was saying that they'll get woken up by rats chewing at their fingers. Ugh.
Mm.
Oh, just I think it like there's a big like David Fincher influence throughout this whole film, particularly Seven, but it does a thing really well that Seven does really well, and that just evokes images in your mind of stuff that they're talking about, and just horrifying. Oh,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a very unpleasant thought. The rats nibbling on you.
Yeah,
Ugh.
you can say that again. And I thought that having Martha be Martha Arkham, which I think is something that has been done in the comics before, and but it's a fairly recent sort of reinterpretation of that character, because as far as I know from all the other films, she's sort of a nothing sort of character, and she oh well, except in the wonderful Martha scene in Batman versus Superman, of
Mm.
course. Cue all the comments below, like railing against me.
Pivotal
But
scene.
yeah, yeah. Um, but that wonderful scene aside, she's not really had much to do in the films, and I think that this is, I mean, she's not mentioned much in this film, but I think
Mm.
this lays the groundwork for some really interesting delving into her backstory, because they are doing a scene set in Arkham Asylum. Um, I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be released, but I hope that they focus a lot on the Arkham family and sort of delve
Yeah,
into their backstory and just like expand the
yeah.
mythos around them, because I think it'd be
I mean,
really interesting.
yeah, it's a rich world. I mean, it's obviously something sort of that a lot of people are probably a bit more familiar with because of the video games bearing the name.
Mm.
I mean, it's always been in Batman lore, but sort of maybe just in passing. So I think if they did do something with that, it would have a lot of people excited to see it.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Martha was admitted to Arkham as well for a while. It
Mm.
just yeah, I wonder if they'll focus or can continue to focus on that mental illness angle going forward, because that could be really interesting. That's another parallel that you can draw between Batman and his rogues gallery. He's arguably as mentally ill as
Mm.
a lot of they are. Yes,
Yeah, definitely.
interesting. So I've put down in my notes to talk about the action scenes. But yeah, we've sort of talked a little bit about them already. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
The only thing, well, I'll say a couple of things about the action. I think it was all very well done. It was sort of great to watch, great visuals. You could sort of see what was happening. I know a lot of fight scenes suffer from the sort of the quick cuts and the camera angle movement, and it's sort of like you're seeing a whole bunch of nothing. It was very well shot, very well edited in terms of that. But like I've said before, some of the length of some of these things, like there's the one that came to mind especially was that penguin Batmobile chase. While it was an epic scene, but you could have shaved 20 seconds, half a minute out of that, and it would have still been just as epic.
Okay.
That thing. And the only other thing with regards to the fight scenes, which I've mentioned earlier as well, was the bullets. He's a bullet sponge.
Oh, yeah.
They don't.
Either that plot armor really helps Batman, or these criminals are just the stupidest people on Earth. Well, as he said, his chin's exposed.
Yeah, they probably went to the Stormtrooper Academy, learned to shoot there.
I loved that car chase.
Oh yeah, it was.
That was incredible. But yeah, I suppose it could have been a bit shorter.
I mean, as I was saying before, the fact that you could see what was going on, it looked good in the cinema. It looked good on my TV when I watched it over the weekend. So like that's really well done. There's so many things where sort of it might look okay on the big screen, but then when you watch it at home, you're sort of like, what's going on? I can't follow what's happening because it's just too quick and it's this and it's that. So like A++, I think they were
it's
very
interesting,
easy to watch.
Yeah, it's interesting that car chase in particular was so easy to follow because there aren't really any wide shots of the chase. It's all pretty close up or cameras mounted on the vehicles, which is awesome. And I mean, Penguin's reactions and sort of running commentary throughout the chase was pretty funny. And that moment when the Batmobile comes through the flames, it's just
epic.
Top 5 Batman moments of all time. It's got to be out there.
The one thing I did think when and it's silly, it's when sort of he's dramatically walking from that fireball towards him, and then he sort of like gets down and like looks in the window, just the penguin pulls out a gun from it, bang. That's a bit silly. No, very epic.
Yeah. Yes, very nice.